program every Wednesday, 12:30. And Moroccan is going.
Can we have a roll call, please, Mr. Secretary?
Mr. Albrecht,
Here.
Mr. Gallegos is here. Mr. Sawalish,
Here.
Ms. Zeit-Stumbers,
Here.
Ms. Woolfolk,
Here.
Dr. Hall,
Here.
and President Brown.
Here. Again, this meeting is for Crete Monee School Board regular meeting on Tuesday, March the 18th, 2025, and we have 18:30 or 6:30 p.m. At this time, let us stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and our mission statement, Pledge of Allegiance, led by Board Secretary Alice Gallegos, and followed by the mission statement led by Dr. Hall.
I pledge allegiance
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And our mission statement: engage and empower our students to positively impact their community and future.
Thank you both for leading those two endeavors. I would like to move a couple action items or board items up before we go to closed session. I don't know if I need a motion to do that, Bill?
Yeah, if you're going to amend the agenda, you get a motion.
Okay. I would like a motion to amend the agenda to include moving two items up before closed session. That's number 5, public comments, and number 7, number 7, administrative updates. Can I have a motion to do what I just stated?
So moved.
Moved by Nelson, second by Dr. Hall. Any questions or comments? If not, roll call for the amended agenda.
Ms. Woolfolk,
Aye.
Ms. Zeit-Stumbers,
Aye.
Mr. Sawalish,
Aye.
Mr. Gallegos is an aye. Mr. Albrecht,
Aye.
Dr. Hall,
Aye.
President Brown.
Aye. Motion passed. So right now we have public comments. We have 2 public comments that was written and submitted. The first one we have that from University Park, Keely Lewis Childress. Yeah, and it's regarding University Park Basketball Lions Pledge presentation.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Again, my name is Keely Childress. I am truly honored to stand before you to do this presentation. It would not have been possible when I retired in April. Everybody was blowing my phone up. So I want to personally take this opportunity to thank Mr. Donzel Franklin, my community son, for understanding the importance of keeping the youth together. So we have a football, now we have a basketball program. Being said that, having the experience of 30 years, Mr. O got a couple more people in the building that know my children when they went to Crete Monee. It has truly been an honor to be a part of your family. It's never been a hesitation for anybody that I pick up the phone or email. You all have been a part of the success of the community programs. Saying that, the determination, the hard work, the dedication of community volunteers, we have them. None of this would have been possible for the basketball program without you guys. You have no idea the phone calls I've made. I'm smiling at you now, Mr. O. I'm smiling at Keith. I'm smiling at Miss, I was going to call her Miss G, calling them and asking them, could we get in the buildings? My special thanks to my principals. They know I love them. Mr. Hollyfield, me and you going to have that conversation. Ms. Phillips, Ms. Carr, thank you so much, because without you all, none of this would have been possible. Now, the special people, we have to give it to the athletic department. Athletic department is truly a part of what we do. We facilitate bringing the feeder programs in, bringing the young people in to be able to work with our athletic department. We're starting at the middle school level. So they have come out and celebrated with us. They've been to games with us. It was not possible without Mr. Konecki, Mr. Mueller bringing us in, Mr. Hoser bringing it in, the boys and girls basketball coaches. Anytime I pick up the phone, I send flyers out in the middle of the night. I know their wives or husbands be like, why she keep sending that? But it be on my brain because I want them to be a part of this. Because I could tell you now, doing this for the last 30 years, watching our student athletes leave our community is hurtful. Trying to keep them here is our number one goal. This is where we need you all at. We need to start a Young Warriors program. Rich Township has it, HF has it, and they starting at the 3rd grade level. We have soccer. You can have these wonderful young people be the student athlete teachers of that, because you'd be surprised when those young people walked in that high school and played, they were overwhelmed because they never played on such a big arena. It was such a delight to have Ford Heights, Glenwood, Hazelcrest come in that gym. We had no fights. Police were not called. Guess who won? We did. Everybody know me. I'm a stickler with my young people. I demand respect, and I give them respect. We have to work as a team. To Mr. Robbie, he knows. Security was there. Coach Katie was there. Nothing happened. But their support meant a lot. It allowed us to be able to share where when she comes in her 8th grade season, she's already seen these young people play. So she'll piggyback. But we also have to remember, what about the young people that don't have an opportunity to play? She can only put 15 on the court. That's where we come in at. Again, youth warriors. We keep speaking it. It's time for us to put that into position. We have a lot of young people that are not athletic inclined. You have a wonderful group of volunteers that are willing and able to come and help our athletic department, to help these young people be able to, their self-esteem. A lot of them don't even know how to bounce the basketball. But because we're feeder programs, we allow them to come in. And we teach them that. We're co-ed. We don't have biases. Financially, we're a feeder program. We don't charge the parents a lot because, again, we have a lot of parents that financially can't afford it. With Mr. Franklin, along with Monee Township and other private entities, we were able to do it. But one of the things that I could say, looking at it from this side to your side, we have to open up the window and opportunity for allowing people to bring water, Gatorade, popcorn to watch their children. Because if you all have ever been to a sporting event, that's the first thing you do. You go to the concession and then you go watch the game and you spend more money. Booster Club, we need it because I wear a couple hats. I've been part of the basketball program here at Crete Monee, AKA my son, for 30 years. I came in when my son was a freshman, looked around, said, hey, you all need some help. Came in, never missed a beat. Then Coach Cece, she was the coach then. She begged me to help with girls. I'm like, I don't want to do the girls. Please don't make me. But again, her desire to have a person that knows the game and willing to do it, and I've been doing that ever since. So I have something special, and I want Mr. Franklin to come on up to help me. On behalf, it says, in appreciation to Crete Monee School District 201U, the University Park Youth Athletic Association Lions basketball teams would like to thank you for your valuable contribution toward the program of University Park. President, he didn't even see this one yet, y'all. President Donzel Franklin and myself. Again, thank you so much. I wish it was bigger like that screen, but you all know it's from my heart. Last but not least, I have to give a couple shout outs because they know, again, I call them, Dr. Hall, thank you so much. Dr. Hall, I'll call and say, hey, we got a basketball. Dr. Carter, Mr. Brown, we got football. Thank you, because that means a lot. When the young people see your faces, the administrators, it takes them to another level. So thank you so much, because when you all come out, they see your face on TV, but they never see you in person. So that means a lot to us to have you all come out and be a part of what we're doing. But again, I'm not going anywhere because I'm ready to be a part of our what?
Community.
Youth Warriors. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And a cute little thank you, Dad. Thank you.
Ah.
And I was a surprise. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Any comments on the public
I
comment?
just want to say I thank you for the work that you all put in our community and trying to connect the community back to the school. I know Ms. Childress does a lot with our young people. Mr. Franklin does a lot with our young people, and I definitely appreciate all that you do, and I encourage you to continue to do what you do because our children need you, and if I can help, I try to be there for you whenever, if you call me, I'm there. I got you. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else? Well, I would like to say thank you as well. I've been knowing, I just got to say Keely, for 30 years. And Donzel is my daughter, and him was Senior Athletes of the Year, Sports Athletes of the Year back in the days. And Keely, thank you for taking my son when he was just a little bitty things, flying paper airplanes to flying jets. Okay, so thank you for all you do. And you are always been a beacon of the community. And the difference between you and I in the 30 years, you haven't aged. I have 50 years, okay? So keep doing what you're doing. Thank you. Okay. All righty. Next public comment we have is from Christine Quinlan, our CMEA president. And that's to thank you to the community members who volunteered at Balmoral.
Good evening. Thank you to all the board members who dedicate their time and come here and do things for our district for free, for those of you who don't know. And yes, I am the CMEA president, but tonight I'm here as the Balmoral PBIS coach. We have trimester incentives 3 times a year, and we changed all our incentives this year. And we were having March Music Madness on the first half day in March, the first week. And it almost became madness with no music. But Sarah Stawicki, our music teacher, she also works at Balmoral, she said, let me call some people. So I wanted to recognize some of our community members who showed up at Balmoral on a half day to play for our students. They are not a band they are themselves not a band. They collected a group of musicians, local musicians, who would play together for the day. But I do have some information if any of you wanted to support them. So Bob E. Lee was our guitarist and vocals. Susan Williams was the bassist and vocals. Dale Wright was the bassist and vocals. Mike Stawicki, drummer and vocals. And they were phenomenal for people who are not a band and who they just called up and had come play for us. Some places that you may be able to find each member is Austin Tavern in Stagers, jam nights with Bobby Lee every Friday at 7, minus the summer. The Station in Glenwood, jam night with Bobby Lee every Friday night during the summer months. Main Street Exchange in Crete, jam night with Susan Williams and Dale Wright, the second Sunday of every month, 4 to 7. And the Side Effects Band, Mike Stawicki's band, you can check them out on Facebook to find out when they will have another gig. And they truly did save the day, and all we offered them was to be able to go out with Ms. Stawicki for lunch, and Ms. Stawicki bought them the lunch, so all we really did was let them go out to lunch with Ms. Stawicki, and they were fabulous.
Good. Thank you. Thank you so much, CMEA President. Okay, that leads us to superintendent, administrative updates by our superintendent.
Great. It's actually fun to listen to hear all the good things that are going on in the district. So I appreciate both of you being here tonight and sharing a piece that's going on in the corner of the district so it becomes more visible to all our community. So thanks for being here tonight. I've got just two things. One I wanted to share with you. I was over at the high school. Our podcast studio is now ready. We did a practice run today with the microphones and the lightings. I'm going to be working with Ms. Bernacki and two of our future farm students for our agricultural program. So I'm really excited about that. We're going to be doing that this Thursday. We're going to spend a couple hours learning how to do that and do the podcast. So we'll be having that come out at the later of the week. So stay tuned for that. It's also gotten quite the attention from many of our administrators and our students. They are all asking to be able to do a podcast, or it's actually a broadcast, but video podcasting to share, again, some of the things that we're doing in the district. You know, as I said to you before, it's one thing to see things in a newsletter, but it's another thing when you're seeing things on, you know, interviews and videos and things like that to really show the complexity of the work that we do here. So we're really excited about that. The other piece I'm really excited about is we've got some guests here tonight. And so I want to talk a little bit about how our guests are, how they're here and why they're here. So as you know, with our mission statement, you know, we talked about engaging, empowering students this year. That was our new strategic plan mission statement that we came up with. So earlier this summer, I had talked with Mr. Franklin. As you know, he's been working with us. I think is this our third year? Yes, we work with Mr. Franklin here in the district. He's, I think, a community mentor liaison. And what he does is he works with the high school and the middle school, and he works with our administration out with students, and he goes out into the community and making those connections. And so as part of our mentoring program last year, we tried to start morphing it into something a little different for this year. And with this idea of empowering our students to have voice, we wanted to focus on creating an opportunity to work on civic engagement of our students. We have some really bright, articulate students that are in our high school, and you've met many of them coming up for various things. So we talked about what that would look like, and so Mr. Franklin had this idea of coming up with a Emerging Leaders Civic Engagement Program. And this would be focused on students that are wanting to connect with the communities, so they go out to the villages and various boards and talk about things that are important to them or things that are going on in our school district, to start connecting and having voice and starting to talk about things that are really important to them. Because, you know, we would love to see one of our students come back and being a board member at some point in time. So that civic engagement is really important. So tonight, I asked Mr. Franklin to come with several of his students to share a little bit about the program, things they've been working on. And so, Mr. Franklin, I'm going to turn that over to you.
All right, good evening, board, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Superintendent. Super excited to be here, not only because it's my birthday, super excited because on my birthday, I'm doing what is considered my why. And I'm here and I'm in the community and continue to build something that I believe is going to be outstanding. So super excited to be here as the coordinator of the Emerging Leaders, the young men and ladies that sit behind me. This process is about grooming the next leaders of our community, grooming the next leaders of our schools and school boards, establishing the next state representatives, House of Representatives, and I believe that the next president of the United States will likely wear a blue cardigan sweater and sit right behind us at these meetings.
All right now.
These students were first nominated by administration within their buildings, and then they went through a rigorous interview process where I interviewed over 40 students. We narrowed it down to appointments of 10 students. And when I tell you this group is dynamic, this group is dynamic. So we've been on a tour, and we've started a tour to where we're touring municipalities. And we're acknowledging the fact that in order to sit in a seat and be a decision maker, even as a mayor, you only have to be 18. In fact, in Earl, Arkansas, the current mayor is 18. So I'm showing them and teaching them that rather than waiting until you're 30 and 40 and deciding that you want to have an impact and be a decision maker, the journey starts now. We've yet to visit a board where the men didn't have gray hair. No offense, guys.
Or no hair. You just didn't have
and
to
tonight
look at
that
me.
streak continues.
Yeah, you just didn't have to look at me. You said that.
And I say that jokingly, but that's coming from someone who sat on the board as a trustee, and everyone to my left and right was old enough to be my parent. That's a problem. So a part of this program is to fix that problem. And I believe that one of the biggest flaws in our political system is the fact that in order to sit in the seat and be a decision maker, there's no formal training required, and in many seats, no academic or education required. So instead of complaining, I decided that I want to be a part of the solution and put together a program that helps to groom and teach and help individuals understand the importance of being leaders within their community. So without further ado, if we can give a warm Crete Monee board welcome to our emerging leaders as they come up and introduce themselves.
All right.
Hello. I am Terrell Henderson Jr. I hope you all are doing well, and I want to thank you guys for having me up here. I am 16 years old, and I'm currently a sophomore in high school. I'm here on the behalf of the Crete community, and I would like to use the Civic Engagement Program to address numerous issues in our community and school district. Now, today, we've been asked to come here and give a few things that we enjoy and also don't enjoy about the school district. So first, I'm going to give you 3 things that I enjoy about the school district currently right now. And this is like overall, not just the high school, but the middle school, elementary school, and things that I've seen. First, I would like to say I really enjoyed the safety protocol that we have in our district. I think as of right now that it's very secure and reasonable, and it makes me feel safe overall. I feel like that we've done a good job with that and growing, even with the mistakes that we've had in the district before. Every single time we've learned from them, grown from them, and just got better from it. So I really do enjoy seeing that improve over the years. I also really like our social media website, basically, is what I'm trying to say. I like our awareness off there and the way that we are able to, it does a good job of being updated and also sharing every special occasion that we have here in the district, which is really nice. And then lastly, I would also say one thing that I really appreciate about the district is our staff members, the administrators, everybody around. I really could not say that I've not encountered one adult that's in this district that does not care about the kids and that who's not here for us. So I've always been very thankful for that, and I'm very aware of that. So those are 3 things that I would say that I enjoy a lot and feel like our district has done well with.
Okay, you can stop right there.
So now there's obviously change for everything, and there's a good amount of few things that we could change in the district or even at the high school. Now I'm going to focus mainly on the high school, and this is one thing that I really haven't brought up before, but I've heard students complain about it, and I know that I feel also a certain type of way about it. It's known as our 4th period class period, also known as hero period. This is a 25-minute class period that is given for students to help with their work. But the class, most of the class, like when we're in the class, we are assigned other assignments throughout the class, which is a little bit comes off as an extra stressor and more work and doesn't really kind of allow students to focus on what they already have with their other class periods. So I would just say if we could allow students to have the opportunity to maybe work. Currently I'm applying to be an ignition mentor, which is something that you mentor younger underclassmen in the building. And they asked us a question, if one thing we could improve in the building, what would it be? And a lot of the students brought up fourth period, and how one of the students came from another school, and they basically were saying how at their other school, they allow students to go on a website, and we could do this through maybe Skyward. They allowed the students to go on a website, and there was like a 30 seating thing, and you click a seat. So let's say if I wanted to help with economics, I could click the seat for my economics class and go there fourth period, and then my fourth period teacher would still know where I'm at and take attendance for me. That's just kind of like a solution to do it, if that makes sense. So yeah, if we can look more into that, I think that that would be amazing. And yeah, like I said before, for me personally, I know I'm a student who do a million things, so it's just kind of like a extra stress off, if that makes sense. But obviously, not too many things to complain about at the high school. Overall, it's amazing. And I just would like to leave you with a small quote, and that's that you create opportunities by performing and not complaining. Thank you.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
My name's Malachi Cliff. I'm a junior at Crete Monee High School. And as Terrell mentioned, I do have to say three things and one thing. Three things I like about the school district and one thing I don't like. The three things that I love, is our FFA program. You know about it. You know about Miss Bernecki. She's working hard, and Mr. Brown, we got that $5,000 grant that I wrote that got accepted. So we're gonna get that community garden, and you're gonna be able to grow your tomatoes.
We remember.
Another thing that I like is our Ed Rising program. Miss Valerio is working really hard to have us get out there, especially with us going to nationals later in the summer. Even Terrell, he's going to nationals with us. Me, Terrell, Aaron, and a few other students are going to nationals to represent Crete Monee down in Florida. So that's going to be nice. And another thing, so many things. I'd have to say the support we get from administration. I don't think I literally wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Mr. Hollyfield's help. So I'd like to say thank you, Mr. Hollyfield. Moving on to the one thing that really gets on my nerves sometimes.
All right, next. Next.
And it would be the roads. The roads around the school are completely jacked.
Yeah, Crete, right? The village of Crete.
So one of the solutions that I did find was funding from the IDOT, which stands for the Illinois Department of Transportation, and they provide grants for schools to repair around 3 miles of walkable and drivable areas around the school, and I feel like we should apply for that. And if you would like to work with the emerging leaders to get through that process, we'll happily assist. But that's one thing that should be really focused on, especially given that we all drive. I drive, you drive, and you don't want your tires messed up. But that was my little spiel. It was nice talking to everyone, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Wow.
Just so you know, we are getting new parking lots, paving for the parking lots, so.
But he expanded it to roads too.
Well, we're starting around our parking lots at high school for next year.
So you'll be safe in the parking lots, okay?
So apparently we heard you.
You have a reason to come back in the fall now.
Yeah. Just take the side streets.
Okay. Good evening, Superintendent, Mr. President, and board members.
Thank you.
My name is Amaya Rice. I'm 17 years old. I currently live in University Park District, and I'm currently a junior at Crete Monee High School. Now that I have been at Crete Monee for 3 years now, I've achieved many goals and been given many opportunities. I've been able to do a lot of clubs and activities at the school, As I mentioned, the clubs and activities, I would like to highlight some of my favorites. The first would be our student government program. This is my first year this is my first year doing student government in high school. I did it in middle school, but this program allows students to make many decisions. And really it's primarily student run, which I love because that allows the students to make decisions and feel like they're able to have their input and it's just not all adults. The next would be the SAD program, which stands for Students Against Destructive Decisions. This club really allows the students to just really make decisions for the school, and it really focuses on students driving under the influence, which we know it really comes around prom time, and we want to help with that so that we won't have more loss of students, and our students won't end up incarcerated. Lastly, I would say I would lastly like to talk about the after hours that students are able to come with their teachers after school Mondays and Thursdays from 2 to 2:45. This program really helps because students are able to get that one-on-one with teachers, and they really feel that they're getting helped, and they're not embarrassed by other students that are in their classroom, so it's great for them to get the extra help. Lastly, I love to talk about all the positive about our school, but we all know school have their flaws, and one thing I would like to talk about is students using bad substances, such as vaping and smoking. Students are constantly dependent on these substances, which affects their work in school. One solution that I would like to make a partnership with you guys on is making sure that there's only a certain amount of students in the bathrooms. There's only 4 stalls, so there shouldn't be, 10 students in the bathroom. I know girls want to check their hair and look cute and whatever, but but we have to make sure that we're just checking in. And, we don't want to invade students' privacy, but sometimes we have to take that step, especially as adults, because we don't want anything happening in the school when we're right on the grounds. So that's pretty much it, and I'm so thankful that you guys are letting me speak to you today. Thank you.
Good evening, board members, superintendent,
evening.
and members of the communities. My name is Taylor Stua, and I'm a 16-year-old sophomore at Crete Monee High School, obviously engaged in the Civic Engagement Program. I've lived in Crete all my life, and when I think of our district, the first thing I think of is the diversity. For students, it is crucial to see other cultures and differences around us, and it helps foster empathy for others, which I feel like the high school does a great job of doing, teaching Black History Month and Hispanic History Month and Women's History Month. We're doing a great job with that overall. Another thing that I am so grateful of, you don't understand how grateful of, is the fact that you guys pay for our AP classes and ACTs. As a student who's taking 5 AP classes right now, it would cost me hundreds of dollars to get the education that I'm on course to fulfill. So I just want to say thank you to all of those who decided that you guys would pay for what we need. It's really appreciated. I don't think you know how much. Another thing that is very near and dear to my heart is the fine arts program at our school. I am a member of the band, from wind ensemble, pep band, marching band, you name it, I'm probably in it. It's a lot of long hours at school, countless practicing, money spent, but it's well worth it. Just being able to express yourself, it's an extraordinary program, and I think many students are grateful for it. Now, with that said, obviously, I would like to stop there, but one negative of our fine arts side is the budgeting. Being a kid from fine arts, I've noticed that, especially this year, our food budget was cut. So much, in fact, that we couldn't afford food. So we had to get money from sponsors who would only donate a little bit. We would go to the football games, performing for our awesome football players, staying there just as late as they were, and we would go hungry. We would try to fundraise, but fundraising the same 60, 70 kids, eventually people stop buying. So what I would like to do is to partner with you and even the band boosters to get our fundraising out there more, or apply for grants. Anything that us as a community can help get the band more money. Because whether you believe it or not, it's a great program. We're trying to go to Great America this year to compete, and it costs around $7,000. We don't have any of that right now, and it's in 2 months. So if we could spread our awareness, that would be great. Now, here's a twist. One of our community members is not here, so I would be speaking for her. My colleague, Fuzia Aziz, is a 16-year-old sophomore from University Park who goes to our high school. She loves programs such as JROTC, FFA, obviously, and many other programs. She loves the fact that she can go openly express herself, be with her friends, and get the support from admin and staff. However, with that being said, she has some concerns regarding our no passes and the fights that are constantly going on in our school. Today, we've had 2 fights while still being on no pass restrictions. The reason for this, she believes, is particularly because the fights happen during passing period, and restricting the many of kids who don't fight because of the 10% that do, it's a breach of trust. Telling a girl you can't go to the bathroom when she needs to use it is very not disrespectful, but hurtful. With the security shortage, you have to call down security. Now, we don't have enough security guards right now. So often they don't come until the next period. You're sitting there really needing to use the bathroom because you're not the one fighting, but you're getting punished. She believes that more positive reinforcement should be made. Our PBIS program does a great job awarding those who do it through a raffle system. This does not allocate any distributions of awards to anybody who does any good, and often kids who are the ones fighting do get rewarded, which puts down to others. So she would like to partner with you and the PBIS team to just find a solution. Not restricting our passes, but maybe spreading awareness to why you shouldn't be doing these things instead of saying you can't do it, because the why is always more important. But I think I speak for all of us when I say thank you, Mr. Franklin, for making this possible, Mr. Hollyfield, superintendent, board members, and thank you for letting us come speak. It's very crucial to us. So, thank you.
So we can get up one more round of applause.
Yeah.
And I just want to thank Mr. Holyfield, superintendent, board, administration at the high school, and of course our emerging, call them board members, because this is a board. And what I've been telling them is soon they'll realize how powerful they are. So I want to thank you all for your courage. We are gearing up to, fingers crossed, go to Springfield on April 2nd for Lobby Day. Hopefully we can put that together. So thank you all for your time. Truly grateful. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Can we take a minute and get a picture of all the students, please? Yeah,
Picture.
just a quick picture of the students, because we will put this on our social media website. Mr. Hollyfield, get up there. There you go.
Thank you.
We so appreciate hearing from you tonight. It makes such a difference when we can hear from our students what is working and what we need to go back and fix. You know, sometimes we're not aware of the things that we're doing that aren't working for our students. And so I appreciate your honesty tonight. And, you know, we are not offended in any way that there are things that we can still do to do better. And so I thank you for sharing that with us tonight.
You know what's amazing is I appreciate, you know, the 3 good things, right? But whoever come up with the idea of bringing up one negative, if you notice, they all came up with a possible solution.
Correct.
So how amazing is that? That they didn't just come up here to complain or say good, but you guys came with a solution, you know, and whether you're in, you know, whatever seat you're going to do, being part of the solution is definitely the way to go. Because as we all know, there's a ton of problems, and we don't want to be more problems. We want to be part of the great job tonight, coming up with at least a solution for the one negative. And thanks for all the positive reinforcement too.
Yes, excellent.
I thank you all, and it made me really proud to see you all go up there and speak on what you enjoy about the school. And again, like Mr. Swallish says, come up with a solution for those things that are growth areas for the school. I guess the one thing I'm concerned about is the food. Like, I like to eat. What's the thing with the budget? I hope that to hear more about that from, I'm not sure who we need to talk to or what we need to do, but.
That falls under Mr. Konecki, so I'll be speaking with him tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Thank you for bringing that up because I was going to ask the what's next. You know, I like the fact that the ideas came, but we don't want them to fall on deaf ears. So what's next? And so thank you for your follow-up that you're going to do. I was taking notes as well because I was like, oh, what did that mean? And even if it just meant having an opportunity to explore, to hear more of the context behind the areas for improvement as well as the positives as well, I think that's time well spent. And so whatever that looks like, if that means we go to the school and we have a emerging leader civic engagement program follow-up meeting or whatever that looks like, I think most of us would be open to doing that.
I like that. I'll be following up with Mr. Franklin because I want to get a copy of every single suggestion and solution that you had because, as you said, you want to partner with us. We want to partner with you. So I think there is room for that follow-up, and then we'll talk about what that looks like. And any board member that would like to participate in that, I'm sure that they would love to have you.
Everyone.
Yeah.
But yeah. And I can talk to the group about next year that we may be able to nominate a member of this group to actually sit in on the cabinet meetings, right? So that they can come together as the voice of the school, and we have a representative that sit in at the board meeting to represent and provide ideas and solutions. So that's something that'll be coming next year that we're going to propose. But we are working on that, and they will nominate their representative that will possibly be allowed to sit in. And we're going to propose that same thing with the municipalities because they represent every municipality that is in the district. So we want to have representation on those boards as well as this board. So the voice is at the table. As you know, it's election season now, and many people run on the platform of the youth. So if we have the youth at the table, and we have individuals that are able to articulate as they did very well, and they're a little nervous now, but can you imagine next year, after they went to every village, they've been to Springfield, hopefully we can go to Washington, this group of dynamic individuals will be able to talk in front of anybody without any pressure. So that's the idea, so absolutely.
Well, you kind of took my thunder a little bit because I can tell you we do have the ball rolling with Mr. Swallish and Mr. Gallegos as far as actually Mr. Hollyfield too, working with or trying to come up, and we're hoping to have it in place for the beginning of next school year, to have a leader from the student body to have a seat at this board in some capacity. So you just validated what these two young men are already looking at already.
Yeah, we were just waiting for show choir to finish up, and then we're gonna.
So you just and that's just you always Donzel, and forgive me for not calling you Mr. Franklin. First of all, anybody else, any other board member like to say something? I'll just wait.
No, I mean we have been in the works of bringing a student voice to the board. I'm serious when I'm telling you that we're waiting for show choir to finish up because it's a lot. Mr. Swallish does a lot for our fine arts in that respect, and President Brown tasked us with working together and figuring it out. Last year for the III conference, I did a whole day of learning on how to do it with equity, bringing a student voice onto the board, and
I think you, Mr. Gallegos, met somebody from, was it
Oswego.
and we were gonna go sit down with that board member to figure out how they were able to, how that came about. So we're going to sit down and have that conversation so that we figure out how to bridge that together.
So I think you guys have figured out like how to do it in the school with the students and stuff like that. That's where we didn't know how we were going to implement that because we're not in the school from day to day, But I think you guys have figured it out. So it's just on us to
Figure out how that's going to evolve.
right. So I'm excited for it. I'm excited
Absolutely.
to hear all of these voices up here telling us from day to day what's wrong, what's not working, and how to get better.
Yeah, it does my heart well to see our future leaders. And again, Donzel, I'm going to call you Donzel because I know you so well, that it doesn't surprise me with what you're doing and what you're getting out of these young students here to become our future leaders. They are already leaders in their own capacity. And the young man, I love that fro. What is your name? Malachi, that's biblical, right? Somewhat biblical. But you said something that's on a personal level. You said something about a tomato, and I'll just leave it at that. That was so. It was kind of on a personal level, a positive thing that was kind of direct towards me. And when you said that, I don't think you realize how much that meant to me from a personal level. So thank you for moving. I had forgotten all about that. It was last year. I think you mentioned it.
I think you sent an email out.
Oh, I must have missed
regarding regarding that.
The tomatoes.
The garden.
The garden. Okay, I have to get that. I have to frame it.
That's right.
Because you just hit a soft spot in my heart. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. And Donzel, again, you have been a consummate leader in the community. And your presence, just your presence, once you get to speaking, you draw people to you. That's your nature. And keep doing it, okay? Keep doing it. We value all what you do in the community. Thank you so much. All right. So you cannot leave with all those cookies. You talked about food. We have money to buy cookies. Okay. All right.
Gonna close.
That take us right now.
Back to number 4.
Yes. Back to closed session. I'll wait till our superintendent get here.
We don't need her to vote.
Yeah.
We can just go to closed.
Okay, go. All right, coming up on our agenda item, closed session, we do have a reason to go into closed session for the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees. Could I have a motion to do as what was just read?
So moved.
Moved by Jamie?
By Jamie, I'll second.
Second by Bill. Roll call, please.
Mr. Albrecht?
Aye.
Mr. Gallegos is an aye. Mr. Sawalish?
Aye.
Ms. Zeit-Stumbers?
Aye.
Ms. Woolfolk?
Aye.
Dr. Hall?
Aye.
And President Brown.
All right, so we are in closed session now, and we will be in closed session in minutes, and we will be taking action after closed session ends. for our regular school board meeting. And that leads us back to number 8. Does anybody like to pull anything out of the consent agenda? If not, could I have a
I
motion?
have a question first before I say yes or no. When we get to what we just discussed, is that separate? Do we get a chance to pull?
Yeah, that's not in the consent.
I thought so. I just wanted to be clear.
Yeah, we
Okay.
just go to, all the way to Delta number 8 for this motion. Okay.
Okay, for the business end, is that under the consent agenda?
Yes, it is, all the way to D, Delta.
Okay, all right, so, the approval of the, almost $300,000, for the construction, is any of that, none of that is with the add-ons, correct? No. The special add-ons like water and
Oh,
electric?
no, we didn't move forward to that.
Real quick, just hold your thought for a second.
Sure, yeah.
We would make the motion first and second it, correct? And then you'll open it up for
With
discussion.
discussion,
Just so that we
that's
stay,
correct.
Right?
Yeah,
Okay.
the opportunity is now to take anything out
All right.
before we
Right.
make the motion to approve.
They're asking discussion, so I want to make sure.
Sure. Yeah, we can hold back. If you don't want to pull anything out,
Just hold your
we'll have an
thought.
opportunity. You'll have an opportunity.
Yeah, all right,
Sure.
yeah.
So again, anybody wants to pull anything out, the consent agenda? If not, can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Moved by Bill, second by Nelson. And I will let the superintendent read it out, and then we'll have questions thereafter. Okay?
Under A superintendent, it would be number 1, approve regular meeting minutes of February 18, 2025. Item 2, approve committee of the whole meeting minutes of February 11, 2025. Item 3, approve committee of the whole meeting closed session minutes of February 11, 2025. Under business, item 1, approve Board of Education financial report. Item 2, approve a payment of $61,402.59 to Bear Construction for work completed at Crete Monee High School. Item 3, approve a payment of $298,205 to Vernon Jones Construction for work completed at Crete Monee High School. Underneath Personnel and Culture, for item 1, it's approve the personnel report that consists of approving certified staff employment, unpaid leave of absence, resignation, and educational support staff, employment, reassignment, intent to rehire, and resignation. Under item D for teaching and learning, it's to approve the CMHS JRTC overnight field trip application that will take place April of 2025, and that concludes the report.
All right, do we have any further questions or comments?
Yes, so we're not touching the add-on menu from Vernon Jones. When do we look at those items? Because we kind of have to have those.
Brought back to us.
My assumption, Jason, correct me if I'm wrong, is he would bring that to us.
Yeah.
We'd have to approve that first. So I know we discussed it, but this is probably just invoices from the month, I'm assuming, with what they've submitted for some of the work they've completed.
You're correct, Mr. Spalish and Mr. Gallegos. My intention is to bring a revised short-term facility plan to the Board of Education, hopefully Committee of the Whole in April.
Okay, but then, so you'll present it at the Committee of the Whole, and then we'll vote on it the next week in April?
Yes.
If we see something we like.
Any changes added to the
Original.
money, we would have to.
Got it.
He would have to bring and present to us. For that.
Okay.
Good question. Good comments. Any further questions, comments on the consent agenda? Hearing none, Mr. Secretary, roll call, please.
Mr. Albert?
Aye.
Mr. Gallegos is an aye. Mr. Sawalish?
Aye.
Ms. Zeit-Stumbers?
Aye.
Ms. Wolfel?
Aye.
Dr. Hall?
Aye.
President Brown?
Aye, motion carried. Leads us to number 9, under action reports, Alpha Business. Can I have a motion to approve the bid results submitted by First Student for Special Education and Pre-K pupil Transportation Services? Moved by Jamie,
Second.
second by Nelson. Any comments, questions?
The only thing I want to say in that is, Jason, I appreciate the breakdown over the last, if I had to guess, 5 years. It was at least 5 or 6 years of how that was broken down. Because I know at one point your predecessor mentioned it was 80%. And I think that number's down to 55%. That sound about right?
Yeah, I know there was there was a variance between the years and it went. I did, when you look at it, ISB does say 80%, but when I compare what was claimed compared to what we actually received, it was less. So I'll continue to do my analysis on that, and keep an eye on that going forward.
So moving forward, is there something in writing that the state is going to make sure, are they shorting that amount, or how are they coming up with that formula? Is it just pretty much whatever we get every year, or how do we make sure that we get exactly what we're supposed to?
80% is whatever 80% is.
Right, how do we make sure we get that?
Yeah.
If that's, would you, I guess, look into that to make sure, because at 1 year it showed 80%, but I think this last year it might have been 55%, which is 25% lower, and that's a big number.
Yeah, I'll look into it and I'll include it in the FYI. I know it did decrease. It looked like the 80% was the 1 year we came out the pandemic, right around there, and then it's kind of subsequently decreased each year, but I'll look into that some more for you.
Yeah, I'm guessing about, Nelson, correct me if I'm wrong, 4 years ago, I think they were behind. Right. So that's why that number was lower, but because they were behind like 6 months. They were behind in their payments, so it didn't look like the 80%. I just want to make sure that if they're behind, we just need to know that.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's looked pretty consistent with the categorical September, December, March, June. Sometimes what I noticed this year in December, it did, it was vouchered in December, but then it was actually funded in early January. So that was a little bit of a lag. I know we ran into that problem last June too. I think it ended up being funded on June 28th or something like that, but it has been pretty close to those 4 months.
So what's the total transportation ballpark? 10 million?
For the bid for this one?
No,
combined, right around, I think it's been around $10-11 million with claimable expenses.
Figure 10 million just as a guess. $8 million is what we thought we were supposed to get. We got 5.5 million.
Yeah,
so 2.5 million in our budget's big.
Yeah, and then, we levy for the difference for that.
Right.
Okay. I do have a question. This is very competitive bid. I think we had 4 bidders, anywhere from $10 million to $14 million. And this First Student won, and they are the existing current vendor for our transportation, right? First Student.
Yes, they currently transport our special education students
and our regular students too, right?
Yes, and also regular.
Okay. What gave them the idea, and I think you might have mentioned it last week, and forgive me if I didn't remember, what gave them the idea to submit something to you that included a price of 22% more without going out for bid? How do they think that this was not going to go out for bid, to your knowledge?
I can't, to my knowledge, I mean, I think they probably took advantage or maybe took for granted, them extending the relationship without someone going out and see what the market had to offer. So that was one of my intentions, to go out to bid for both of them to see where the market is when we started this school year.
But we know that's a standard, right? I think our board policy, again, forgive me if I'm misquoting here, that we have a minimum when we talk about bidding and procurement, that if it's over X amount of dollars, I think $25,000 that it has to go out for bid, except certain situations. This is clearly over $25,000, but you mentioned that, and again, I'm not trying to catch you off guard because, it's nothing you did wrong, but you mentioned that it's almost as if, hey, we're saving, he said, we're saving. First Student proposed to take on the contract for 22% more but at the end of the day, they bid it, and it came down to 10%
Yes, sir.
as a savings, right? So.
I don't know if it was a save, I mean, they proposed a 22% extension.
But
I wasn't agreeing.
they ended up winning the bid, and it came out a
10%.
gain of 12%, right?
10%.
Good direction.
And remember,
I mean, it was 10%, but it's 12% difference.
Mr. Brown, remember, I think at least 2 years that I've been here,
There
was
was-
the only one to bid.
Right, I
We
can
went
see
out for
that.
bid and no one would even,
And but we still have to go
Sure.
through the process. That was my thing. So,
Maybe they were
like,
banking
how
on
did
that.
they even consider, maybe because of that they was the only bidders, but we had 4 bidders this time, and very competitive. Hmm.
There was a change in the state.
Okay, good. What's that change?
It allowed you to extend existing contracts for up to a period
That's,
of 10 years.
got it. Why did you let me talk all that time? And
If you gave me a second, President Brown, I was going to throw it
you
right
was?
back to Mr. Gleason. You know, prior to this whole
So moving
process,
forward,
I did
I don't
consult
want
with
any
him.
of you guys telling me you don't like me talking, okay? You wanted me to talk. All right, good. Thanks, Bill. That's why you get paid all the big bucks. So they changed the statute and it allowed us to extend that without going out for bid. Okay, great. So should we change our policy? If we said right now, $25,000.
The base is 35, I think it's 35 in your policy, not 25.
Okay,
But transportation is covered as it's an exempt service under the code, and it's covered by Article 29 as opposed to Article 10. So you guys are still following.
we still okay?
Yeah, you're doing fine.
Got it. Thank you. All right. All right.
Motion's on the floor.
The motion's on the floor. Further questions or comments? We had it moved. No further questions or comments? Hearing none? Can I have a roll call, please, on 9A Alpha?
Mr. Albert?
Aye.
Mr. Gallegos is an aye. Mr. Sawalish?
aye.
Ms. Zeit-Stumbers?
Aye.
Ms. Woolfolk?
Aye.
Dr. Hall?
Aye.
President Brown?
Aye, motion carried. Number 9, Bravo, Personnel and Culture, Bravo number 1. Could I have a motion to approve the resolution authorizing non-renewal of non-final year probationary teacher? Moved by Bill.
You have to give the name.
Second by Janine.
Yes,
Janine?
give the name.
Any questions or comments?
I have questions. So I have a comment, and we're at. You say you have to get a name first, or can I make?
You got the name.
Name your teacher. For number 1.
For number 1. Is it in there?
I thought that was under number 5.
It's for the ones where people are.
Yeah, that's number 5. That's, oh, what?
You have the resolution.
Here. This?
No, that's a different motion.
Okay. Here.
You got it?
Here.
Yes, I think she put it real big.
But that's saying the same
That's
thing.
Trying to find the first one.
Is that this?
This one. Yeah, okay.
Ah, okay.
Thank you, Cheryl.
I knew she had it there.
All right. Let me go back. Do I have a motion? I think I stated it, but that's to approve the resolution authorizing the non-renewal or non-final year probationary teacher of Rachel Linda Mulder. That's the person that we're talking about here, Rachel Linda Mulder. Any questions? I think Dr. Hall was
No, I don't.
not that.
Right, no.
Okay. So again, approve a resolution authorizing the non-renewal or non-final year probational teacher Rachel Linden Mulder. And we have a motion, and it's been moved. Any questions or comments? If not, roll call, please.
Mr. Albrecht,
Aye.
Mr. Gallegos is an aye. Mr. Sawalish,
Aye.
Ms. Zeit Stumbers,
Aye.
Ms. Woolfolk,
Aye.
Dr. Hall,
Aye.
President Brown.
Aye, motion carried. Under 9, action report B, personnel and culture.
Can I ask a question before you read that? Because I don't want to ask the question with the name, because I don't want anybody to associate my comment and question to any one person.
Okay, on this particular motion coming up?
Before you read.
Before this particular one?
Yes, before you read any of the rest of them. Not just that particular one, but any of the rest of them. I'm asking now ahead of time. So, I want to make this not just a comment that I made before. I'm going to make this a comment first. The comment is, I feel like we typically do things that affect students first, and then before we do things that affect adults. And I think that we are, by affecting the schools first, I think that's wrong. I think that we should, if we're going to look at anything, we could have looked at, if we're really trying to be proactive, we look at district first, then what affects schools next, to see maybe we could have found what it is that we needed to find in that area first before we go affecting things that directly affect kids first, or people who directly affect kids first. So I do feel that I am totally against that. So then my second question is, if a person received a proficient, regardless of if they received a proficient or not, they can't be moved into another administrative position. They have to still interview, or if they have, let's just leave it at that. If they have a proficient, can they be moved into another administrative position?
From what position you're talking about?
From whether it be principal, whether it be assistant principal, can they be moved into another?
So there's a particular section of the code that deals with reclassifications of principals and assistant principals.
Yes.
So as defined by regulation, assistant principals could be a little bit broader than what you think. Pursuant to the statute, you can reclassify and non-renew people regardless of what their rating is. The statute isn't dictated by what the rating is. It just requires the rating to be provided. Mm-hmm. And then you can reclassify them, but you can't reclassify them into a lower paying position if they're tenured without providing them with the statutory hearing required by section 24-12 of the Illinois School Code. So you normally are going to reclassify people from an assistant principal or a principal position into a classification of a position that has the salary set on a uniform basis like yours is through a collective bargaining agreement.
So if you reclassify like an assistant principal to a dean, that would...
So you'd have, if you're tenured, you'd have to give them a tenure teacher dismissal hearing because you'd be cutting their pay into a non-uniform pay position.
Okay. But so...
If a dean is an administrative position, it's not covered by the collective bargaining agreement.
It's an administrative position.
Okay, yeah, then that would be the rub, is you'd have to provide the hearing to put them into a position that doesn't have a uniform salary attached to it.
Okay, and so it doesn't matter if they get proficient or needs improvement?
It does not.
Okay, but if they did, okay, because I just want...
tenured administrators, it doesn't matter.
Okay, okay, but if they did get a proficient, then they still can be moved?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. That was a general question regarding personnel and culture. All right, so going back to action report, under personnel and culture, number Bravo, number 2, I have a motion to approve for reemployment of first, second, and third year probationary teachers.
Second.
By Bill, second by Nelson. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, roll call please, Mr. Secretary.
Mr. Albert,
Aye.
Mr. Gallegos is an aye. Mr. Sawalish,
Aye.
Ms. Zeit Stumbers,
Aye.
Ms. Woolfolk,
Aye.
Dr. Hall,
Aye.
President Brown.
Aye, motion carried. Under 9, action report B Bravo, Personnel and Culture. Number 3, can I have a motion to approve for reemployment and accelerated tenure of second or third year probationary teachers?
Moved.
Moved by Bill,
Second.
second by Jamie. Questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call, please, Mr. Secretary.
Mr. Albrecht.
Aye.
Mr. Gallegos is an aye. Mr. Sawalish.
Aye.
Ms. Zeit-Stumbers.
Aye.
Ms. Woolfolk.
Aye.
Dr. Hall.
Aye.
President Brown.
Aye, motion carried. Under 9, action report, Bravo Personnel and Culture. Number 5.
Four.
Four.
You skipped ahead.
Sorry. Number 4, stand to be corrected. Could I have a motion to approve for reemployment and tenure of fourth-year probationary teachers?
Moved.
Moved by Bill,
Second.
second by Nelson. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call, please, Mr. Secretary.
Mr. Albrecht.
Aye.
Mr. Gallegos is an aye. Mr. Sawalish.
Aye.
Ms. Zeit-Stumbers.
Aye.
Ms. Woolfolk.
Aye.
Dr. Hall.
Aye.
President Brown.
Aye. Motion carried. Under 9, action report. Under B, Bravo, Personnel and Culture. Number 5. Could I have a motion to approve the resolution authorizing the reclassification of administrators? That is the Board of Education of Crete Monee Community Unit School District 201U resolution authorizing notice of contract, non-renewal, and proposed reclassification of certain administrators. Those administrators being Christina Flores Colbert, Jennifer Hannigan, Caroline Ross, and Marquita Phillips. Can I have a motion to do what I just read?
Moved.
Moved by Bill,
Second.
second by Jamie. Questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Albrecht.
Aye.
Mr. Gallegos is an aye. Mr. Sawalish.
Aye.
Ms. Zeit-Stumbers.
Aye.
Ms. Woolfolk.
Aye.
Dr. Hall.
Nay.
President Brown.
Aye, motion carry. Could I have a motion to approve under 9, action report under Bravo Personnel and Culture. Number 5, approved memorandum of understanding with the CMEA.
Moved.
Moved by Bill,
Second.
second by Janine. Sorry. I'll get it right.
We're all sleepy.
All right, any comments or questions?
Did I miss it in our package, or is there a description of?
I was thinking the same thing.
I don't think
must have missed it.
It was listed in your extras.
Yeah. It was, I don't know how far
The
down
one
it
that
was.
everybody have a hard time trying to find.
Yeah. It was,
With all those documents. Janine, were you able to locate that?
there were quite a few this week. I can't remember. Let's see.
It was a whole list.
I thought it was 3/4 of the way down. There was like 9 of them.
Yeah, it was about 9. All the attachments were there, I saw. I never cursed in my life, but I did curse looking for that.
Okay, I don't see it. Go ahead.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
Is it customary though to vote for something for something that was just placed in the extras and not brought to us?
We talked about it last week.
We did talk about all this, or that
It's been in
that
your,
it was going to be in the extras.
it's been in your
there for
FYI for
48
the last
hours.
couple of weeks also.
Yeah. Was a document in there
Did we talk
48
about it?
hours?
Yeah.
For the board to look
Yes.
at since this, yeah. So since last Thursday, it was there.
Okay, can somebody explain it then, since we all,
Sure.
since so many people missed it?
Yeah, no problem. It's an MOU. We had involuntarily transferred someone from one building to another due to certifications and needs in a building. The building that the person was coming from, they had stipends that they were eligible for and were performing. The building they were moved to didn't have those eligible because the nature of the building. They moved from Balmoral to the Early Learning Center. Early Learning Center doesn't have bus duty and lunch duty stipends. So that person we moved because of the needs we needed for the kids due to no fault of their own. So the MOU just memorializes them having the ability to keep their money from those stipends because they did not make that move on their own. So it's not their fault that they would be essentially losing out on that money. Also allows us to create other opportunities for extended duty stipends that might be beyond the contract. So for example, this person is on the school leadership team. The contract allows 8 spots. She's number 9. So that way it's not a total loss to the district on we're not getting anything out for the money that we're spending.
Yeah, we did that because of the needs of the students. So
Correct.
That's why we moved it.
Yeah. And it just identifies that this is only eligible for certain high needs positions that are very specialized.
And I think the way you had mentioned the ELC is a lot of grant trip. It's a different. It's not classified the same thing as K through 12.
Okay. We do have a motion, right? Mm-hmm. And we got it moved. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none. Mr. Secretary, roll call, please.
Mr. Albrecht.
Aye.
Mr. Gallegos is an aye. Mr. Sawalish.
Aye.
Ms. Zeit-Stumbers.
Aye.
Ms. Woolfolk.
Aye.
Dr. Hall.
Aye.
President Brown.
Aye. Motion carry. And last but not least of our action items today, number 9, action report, Bravo Personnel and Culture. Can I have a motion to approve a contract for the assistant principal of Talala Elementary, who's in our presence, I believe?
She is, and before you vote, I'd like to introduce you to Elizabeth Slough. She's being recommended for the assistant.
Let me move this. I just got the motion.
Moved.
Moved by Bill.
Did you find it?
Second.
Second by Jamie. Okay.
All right. So Elizabeth will be joining us from the Tri-Creek School Corporation, which is in Lowell. She comes to us with assistant principal experience. She stood heads and tails above our candidate pool of 11 that interviewed for the position over at Talala. She is going to be a true partner for Mrs. Schwoko, the principal there, and we look forward to all of the great things that she's going to do to help our students at Talala and move the building forward.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited and looking forward to next school year.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
Well, I hope you got a cookie. Did you get a cookie? All right.
We still have to vote, so don't welcome her too much.
Oh, don't welcome too much. All right. Once we vote and you get passed through or gone through, you bring back the cookies. All right. Any questions or comments? Hearing none. Mr. Secretary, roll call, please.
Mr. Albrecht.
Aye.
Mr. Gallegos is an aye. Mr. Sawalish.
Aye.
Ms. Zeit-Stumbers. Ms. Woolfolk.
Aye.
Dr. Hall.
Aye.
President Brown.
Aye. Welcome aboard. Thank you so much. Where's, get the cookies, please. All right. All right. Motion carry. Any old business? Any new business?
I have something for new.
Old business and new?
No,
New?
new.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, I guess we have, I don't know if it's a policy or somebody decided to make this up on the fly, where you cannot, if we allow you as a community partner to use our facilities, you can't sell goods like concessions or drinks or anything. I think we need to revisit that. It's not a policy. I don't like it. I think that they should be able to sell things even as a community partner. I know that basketball had an issue with that, and eventually we allowed them to sell water and Gatorade because because people are thirsty, but I guess they can't have any concessions. I'm interested to see if that rule applies during football season when we let people use our stadium. I hope not. I hope that this is resolved by then, and we say, yes, they can sell, community partners can sell concessions, even if they're using our facilities for free. So that's one thing. The second thing is being able to eat at a basketball game in the gym. I have so many people complain to me when I go to games about why can't we eat in the gym. I guess the junior high just implemented something as well where they have put signs up. That helps the sales of the food because people, if they know they can bring it in, they'll eat. And it's an entertainment facility. Yes, they're supposed to clean up afterwards. They should. We have custodians that should clean up. Should be part of their duty. There's very few schools that do that. I know Bloom does it, and that's one of the reasons. Like, people will go to their games, but they complain, and we don't want to go and just sit outside. Even if you're playing the game, they pay to see the game and eat in the gym, and it can be cleaned up. I don't agree with it. It's not a policy. It's a practice that somebody put in place. Who, I don't know. I think it started before this administration, but I do believe we should. That it should.
In those other schools, do the community partners pay for the janitorial service?
That I don't know. I don't know, but I'm not talking. That's not the janitorial service. Oh, are you talking about from selling first? You're talking that first.
Yeah, if
Okay.
they're allowed to sell popcorn, you need somebody to clean up the popcorn, and I wouldn't trust the community partner organization to do that to our standards. So we'd have to have janitorial custodians in there. Are they paying for
that? I don't know. All I know is it's something I want to visit, and I want to allow them to.
The only thing I can tell you is that even
definitely
during, and I think Mr. Giles can vouch, when we're going to these competitions for show choir, the only thing that people are now allowing in gyms is drinks with closed lids. Mm-hmm. They're not allowing food in. Nowhere we went, because remember, high school kids are at these events, and if you even go down to a junior high, they're kids, right? And they're going to be messy. So, and the other thing is, if you bring a liquid in open, you bring in open plastic, not this, you know, like a cup of pop, it's going to spill. Kids are goofing around, they're not paying attention. The policy can be amended as long as you have a closed bottle, or like everybody has, what are those?
Like a tumbler?
Yeah, what's the name of them?
Stanley.
Everybody has a Stanley, right? You bring those in, I guess you could amend something like that, but I think that's the basic premise, because every high school I went to, no food in the gym that they didn't allow, and they were looking for it, but they were only looking for closed bottle stuff, no open drinks, just because adults are going to take care of it.
Maybe.
But kids are not going to pay attention. They're going to goof around. They're going to be kids, and they're going to spill.
I can say this. Every gym that I've gone to, with the exception of Bloom, allows concessions in the gym. Every gym. And I go to a lot of gyms, whether it be wrestling, basketball. I go to a lot of gyms.
So
when
we have that spectacular here, I was trying to figure out how fair is Crete Monee compared to everybody else, and so, you know, we allow the closed containers or closed bottle with lids, and everywhere we went, it was exactly the same thing. Just no food and no open containers, because people bring in coffee, right? You got to have a lid on it. You can't have it open. So
if we say closed lids, but I'm talking concession, like popcorn and stuff. Yeah, and this isn't the free. This is our regular games. I'm talking where we pay custodians to be there. They're already there, and they should be cleaning up. That's what I'm talking. But I think that to start with that, I think that they should. So it's not a policy. I just think that the buildings administration or whoever, buildings and grounds, should allow. They should not say that they can't bring it in. Accidents can happen. We have to clean. That's just kind of par for the course. I mean, they can't. They have to clean up at the football stadium. They can't say no. You can't. They don't say that. But I think that they should be able to bring food in. If we say drink-wise, you have to have a lid on. Well, I can go with that. And then even if they bring soda or Gatorade in, it has a lid. They should have a lid on. I can go with that. But to not, I think our concession sales are lower probably because people can't bring food into the game and watch it as they eat and watch the game.
Let's just say this, Dr. Hall, definitely hear you and definitely agree on some things you said, but let's give an action item to our superintendent, kind of look at it on a
And she
holistic,
kinda has,
holistic
to be honest,
point of
but I
view.
just want to, that's all I bring it
And,
to.
well, one thing I'm firm at is, no, it's not a board policy, obviously, probably not an administrative policy, but because we want this to happen right now, that we have some standard, that it is some type of procedure, is captured in some type of writing. This is how we're gonna do it. So if the board is okay, have our superintendent look at it, bring back best practice, and see where we can fit in on this.
And remember, we can change it.
Yeah.
And then if something happens, the one thing is you want to make sure the floor doesn't get ruined because we just finished it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But as long as it's protected, if something happens, you can always change it back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're strong enough, how you feel about that, then I would say, you're right, Mr. Brown, write it up. We'll look at it.
Write it
but
up.
Closed bottle lids or something, nothing open, that's, I think.
Because I see some wins here. I see some wins that
Right.
allowing, people, you go and get entertained. Yeah, I definitely hear Nelson about who's going to clean up this and all of that. And definitely these clubs capturing some monetary value too, selling things.
So I
Yeah.
think there's a couple things at the table with this. And I think
You got
Nelson-
them all.
Yeah, Nelson was on this as well. So I think there's our own games.
Yes, that's
So
correct.
that's the one piece, and maybe it is the closed bottle and things like that, so they can enjoy the game. We also have facility rentals out there. There are people out there that we are giving it to free, and we are also paying for our custodians and not charging them for it. So I think that's another case, though. But then, if we're allowing the food, then our custodians, we're paying them to go clean up the mess. So I think that's another layer. So,
I think we really need to look at that if
Yeah.
we're allowing to use the facility for free, but we're paying for the custodial.
yeah.
So that's usually an intergovernment agreement we have with these people, right? Or it should be a nonprofit organization.
Oh, these are usually nonprofits within our
Okay.
communities, and we usually.
So do we have an intergovernment agreement with these? So they don't pay the normal rental agreement that someone else want
Well,
to
I
come
don't
in
know
and
if
rent
it's
the building?
intergovernmental, that's just been a practice we have for nonprofits. We let them in for free.
We
Because they don't come in the buildings without security,
But-
not now.
Yeah, we,
But we don't
take care
enter
of
a 1 or 2 page intergovernment agreement because
No.
there's some liability and
No,
all that. Do they give
have
us a
to- They have the
certificate of
yes,
insurance.
insurance?
yes, they have to produce $25,000
So
of
there's
insurance.
no guidelines then?
Well, here's the thing. I will go look into all of this and then bring something back. How's that?
Okay.
Yeah, look at some things, see what you do. It
Yeah.
might be, don't try to solve world hunger the first time around.
Well, obviously, there's some wins, and we
Okay.
have to just prioritize and see,
Sure.
how does it play?
And I just wanted to bring it
Yeah.
so that we
Yeah.
can
Yeah, because
start
he
with-
did bring that to me earlier, and we tried to adjust for a particular situation that came up for this year. But I think moving on, do we take this opportunity to revisit
To look
that?
at it.
And I think we
That
got to get
practice.
straight the different contracts.
Yeah,
We need one contract.
Dr.
Yes.
Hall,
A
I think
standard.
you should have learned from the students tonight. If you're going to identify a problem, come up with a solution.
Well, I needed the team for the solution. this
Yeah,
time.
you just brought all
I needed the
problems.
team- I needed the team for the solution.
And you notice
so
you
I
brought
it
more
up.
problems than all of those
I
together.
did, didn't I?
And if you can't look at the same time, his first question was about the concession stand. So if it's an outside organization, I think there's probably some amending we can do there, but the only question is they cannot use our facility for that. So if you have the athletic boosters inside and have all their stuff in there, you can't have an organization with their kids kind of rumbling through there. It just isn't going to work, right? Because there are products in there that
Yeah.
they paid for. Same thing, you go to the new concession stand over at this.
Right, they have to bring their stuff,
If they
yeah.
set up
No
a
co-mingling.
tent with a grill and they do their own thing, like, everybody knows that you look on the weekends and you see the Crete Bulldogs or the UP Lions or the Monee Mavericks, they set up all their own stuff. If they played on the field and they set that up, that's what we have to look at, making sure we're okay, but I don't have that. Why would I have a problem with that?
Yeah.
Because they're their own thing.
That-
But they probably can't use the inside of the facility because of all the product and stuff that's already in there, because then otherwise someone from that has to be here, right? To just keep an eye on it.
I'll bring something back, committee of the whole.
Yeah. All right, any other questions on
I have a
Comments?
question.
Old business? Is this a,
I'm not sure, but there was an email from Respond Now about summer EBT benefits for our students and their families, and I think there was going to be some follow-up. I think that was you, Jason?
Yeah, I can speak to that.
Okay.
Ms. Pams has been working with that corporation. She's in communication with getting them to come out to the districts. Generally, we do our community partnership, the summer food program. She'll be out, the representative from Respond Now will be there to help complete applications, and she's working with the elementary school principals and to get that advertised and publicized, so someone will be on site to assist with those summer EBT, summer bucks.
Okay.
so that was new business.
That's new. Okay.
That's all right. Thank you. Good insight. Any other comments for new business? All right, just one, if no other. I got an email right around 5 o'clock before the board meeting. I got here, and it was a taxpayer just kind of sent me an email and say that I know what's going on Facebook regarding alleged multiple fights at the middle school on the school property, multiple fights, vulgar language, and this unacceptable behavior. So talk to Dr. Congolese, and she's going to look into it. Can you just send some of the board up
Sure, if you
there?
could just forward that to me.
That email, I will.
That'll help
It
me
was
know
very short, and I
specifics.
responded back to that person. Thank you for sharing, and I will look into it.
I got one other thing.
New business or old
Yes,
business or in between?
New business.
Okay.
New business. So we all got the email from Ms. Chrysos about the magazine
Sure.
that we found.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And we didn't find anything else. Were other classrooms searched, or like were we looking for the other half of the weapon?
I do believe that they conducted a search and there was nothing else found.
I think I did like a one-line comment on that about potentially having detectors over there. We don't have currently.
We
I thought we
do
were
not.
supposed to originally.
I know we was
though.
actually going down to the elementary school, but
Yeah,
you know,
We were trying to
budgetary-wise.
figure out, I think we were
Right,
doing
do
a
high
test
school
run
first.
at the high school to see how it worked out.
Yeah, and it worked out fine. And
And
So
I
we
think
may
had
want to
enough
look at
grant
that.
money
We
for
did
it
have a grant.
Yeah.
at that time.
okay.
So I think, you know, if we can squeeze in something or whatever, you come back next year, whatever.
we can look into that.
I just don't want to just overlook this to say, hey, you know, because we see what can happen.
Yeah.
I can speak to that. Mr. Tobias.
You have money, you say?
No.
I didn't say that.
Oh, okay.
I said, I can speak to that. Mr. Tobias is looking into the estimated cost to get the Evolve units at the middle school. And, you know, the number that we'd have with the traffic flow and the path that the students take. So he is looking into that for me. You know, it is not part of the COPS grant. We're 1 year into a 3-year grant, but we can definitely see where else we can make funds from available once I get a total dollar amount and bring that back to the board.
Excellent.
Yeah, I would definitely look into grants on that in the state, because they're definitely talking about that more, safety and security, and I would definitely have somebody look into that.
Excellent.
I have one more thing.
Is it old business, new business, or in between?
This is new business.
Okay, you're good.
Or maybe it's just a question.
You're good.
Does our
You're good.
foundation provide a year-end review of monies raised for the board? I think we heard some comments. This conversation just sparked me about needing more funds for additional security measures. I know we have a foundation. Do they provide a year-end, a recap, a year summary? Can we request that?
You know what, you bring up a good point, and again, memory serves me right. I think we have in our board policy that these organizations submit to the board in some capacity, that the board sponsor, that the district sponsor their budgetary sheets, their financials. Memory serves me right. Lawyer?
Yeah, you're right. Your board policy requires that they produce an audit on an annual basis.
I will follow up with that one too.
So
Only a freshman can do that.
So the Education Foundation does have, they actually had a meeting tonight.
Okay.
And I'm the rep for the board
Oh, that's right.
there. So I was not able to go to the meeting, obviously, because I'm here. But I will get with Reverend Hunt to see what was talked about at the meeting, bring back the treasurer's report, and see what else we could do as far as granting that money out. I don't know if they talked about. I didn't even look at their agenda because I knew I was going to be here. So I have to have a debrief with Reverend Hunt.
Did I miss something? You
And
said
then we were
the
supposed to
money
have a
out.
meeting with them too.
I was gonna say, can we still do that?
You
Yeah, I
said
didn't
something
get
about
that.
the
Okay.
money out or something. I missed something. You said.
Yeah, so they collect money. They do their fundraising,
Sure.
the fundraising event, and then they collect applications from teachers, from administrators, from students about disbursements of those, like for field
Those
trips.
funds, got
Yeah,
it.
right. So if say a team needed extra funds for something, like can they apply to get money from the Educational Foundation? Yeah.
And various other
Sure.
organizations.
Yeah.
PTOs and what have you.
I would imagine it's for educational purposes, meaning the title. So I think that's why teachers and stuff can apply for that, because that's what it's for.
Yeah.
Right.
And essentially, you know what I mean? If you're thinking groups, you gotta just be careful when you say.
It's not for athletics.
Yes, and again, specifically, athletics has a group for that, so I just wanna be clear.
Yeah,
You're saying educational purposes, so that everybody listening knows that's what that's for.
Yeah.
Cause he's right, cause somebody from athletics may say, hey, we wanna go do something on a trip, but that's not what that's for.
Yeah. Definitely. Good bringing that up. Okay. You're hired. All right. If there's no other new business, can I have a motion to adjourn? Moved by Bill,
Second.
second by Nelson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? No nays. We are adjourned. Thank you, public, for joining us this evening. Have a safe rest of your evening until we meet again.